Hey, I'm Amy Connell, and welcome to the Graced Health Podcast. This podcast is for women who just want to take care of themselves, age their bodies well, and enjoy a little chocolate in the process. If you have been listening to this young podcast for very long, you probably noticed that I did not do a quick intro before the music started. And that's because I just am not really sure how to introduce it. So I'm hoping that you'll stick with me so I can explain a little bit about today's episode. Today is my very first interview with my good friend, Kandice Harris. I met Kandice, I think about 5 or 6 years ago when she moved to my neighborhood. It feels like a lifetime. We have spent so many miles on the streets of my neighborhood walking together. Kandice unabashedly loves Jesus, her kids, her husband, and her goats, which she will tell you about. And Kandice is also a personal trainer. I met her through the fitness industry, and she is now a nutrition coach. I never expected to have an episode where I'm talking to a friend of mine and a nutrition coach about possibly climbing on board with the lifestyle and program they have, but I'm here. Recently, I've noticed my body trying to communicate a little bit with me. I'm in my mid 40s. I turned 45 here in just a couple weeks. And what I have always been doing isn't really working as well anymore. In many ways in my life, I feel great, but unfortunately, my pants are getting a little tighter. Some of my data markers are not where I would like them to be. And I just feel like it might be my body saying, hey, it's not what you're eating, but maybe we need to kind of switch some things up. And so I have watched Kandice's journey over the last year with the program that she is now coaching. She just started as a participant. And I will get into this a little bit later, but I had zero interest in it. Some of what we talk about is very counter to what and how I like to approach my nutrition. I talked about in the My Story episode, I don't like to track. It can trigger some obsessive tendencies and get my heart in the wrong place. However, I trust Kandice and I trust her to know me and how I operate. And so some of this is just going to be stepping into a space that I'm very unfamiliar with and learning a little bit about, is this what my body wants? Will my body respond to this well? And again, this is not about the scale. It's not necessarily even about my size. What it is about is taking my body back to the place where it's set point and where where I have been for so long and I was really comfortable with it. I'm so excited for this episode. If nothing else, just listen so you can listen to Kandice and you can listen to her goat stories. And it's someone new and positive and encouraging that you can follow on social media, particularly if you are in Instagram, because she is a fantastic person. I'm so excited to introduce you to my friend Kandice. So Kandice, welcome to the show.
Hey, Amy, thanks so much for having me. This is the coolest bucket list check off today.
Oh my goodness. Well, and you know that you have the fine position of being my very first interviewee on Graced Health.
Well, I'm totally honored. I think that's awesome. And I hope I'm worthy of the cause.
Oh my gosh. Seriously, stop it. Okay, so I want to go ahead and get going because I know that you and I both have a tendency to talk. We have spent miles and miles and miles on the road with each other. I've introduced you before this started, so the listeners know a little bit about you, but I would love it if you would tell everybody who you are, a little bit about yourself, what you like doing, and all of that kind of stuff.
Okay, awesome. Amy said that my name is Kandice, and it is. I am a goat farmer. Let's just start there. I'm a goat farmer in Brenham, Texas, in the most beautiful area of northern Brenham. I am absolutely surrounded by beauty up here. We have a goat farm. There's my two kids. I have two teenagers, a 16-year-old, 13-year-old, a great husband, and we are busting our tail trying to get this farm going and up and running and renovated, and we are having the time of our lives. Professionally, when I'm not farming, I am a personal trainer. I personally train virtually and some live. I'm newer in the town of Brenham, so that's a harder sell for me right now. But I virtually train a lot of Houston clients, but I really train all over the U.S. And I have even trained in England. I've had that business going for about 10, or I guess I'm just about to start my 11th year, Amy. Isn't that crazy? I teach at a beautiful location here at a studio, and I teach yoga and bar and weightlifting classes for them. And I'm hoping to partner with them in 2020 and maybe open another location, which would be super cool. I also, and I'm a faster way to fat loss coach. So that is, I'm a nutritional macro coach virtually also. So I'm exhausted saying all that, and that sounds like a lot, and that's just touching the surface.
It is.
What I do.
And can you tell me in 20 seconds what being a goat farmer means? Because I see you have goats, and you talk sweeter to these goats than I did to my kids. I'm telling you. I don't get it. Kandice, help me out here.
I know. I love my goats. So I have 2 female goats, and one of my females, Molly, just had 2 baby boys. That is not what you want to have for babies. You want females because you want to be able to use them as breeding stock. And instead, God gave us 2 baby boys named Calvin and Alvin. And we will we will either butcher them for meat, or you use them for breeding stock, the males, or you sell them at the auction. Well, my Mama Heart can't get rid of my boys. So now we're trying to figure out what to do with the boys, but we'll probably have them as herd protection. And then the long-term vision of the goats are really to probably breed show goats, because Casey wants to show her first goat this next year in 2020.
Oh, okay.
So really, honestly, we spend a lot of time feeding them. We spend a lot of money feeding them and trying to keep them alive. And that's called goat farming. And it's not.
It sounds like parenting too sometimes.
It is. I have 23 animals on my property, and then we lease to about 14 more cow. So we have about, what is that? 35, 36, 40 animals.
That's a lot of animals.
That's a lot of animals.
Okay. I want to circle back to your faster way to fat loss coaching, because that's actually why I asked you to join me today. You moved from my neighborhood to Brenham, I think about 1.5 years ago.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay. Mm-hmm. And then a little less than 1 year ago, I remember talking to you, and you're like, oh my gosh, I've just found this really great nutrition program. And because we have spent a lot of time walking and talking, I knew that you have done a lot of different things. And so I was like, okay, well, what is it? You're like, oh, it's fantastic. It's fasting, it's macro counting, it's carb cycling. And I was like, out for fasting. I don't want to count. You know that I don't like to be obsessive about things, like out. But I have watched you on your journey, Kandice, and I have seen your light shine even brighter. It's always shone. I follow some of your clients on Instagram, and I am seeing them thrive. And I have noticed recently that the things that have always worked well for my body just aren't working as well. My body is shifting. I turned 45 in a couple of weeks. It's shifting, it's changing. And I'm just kind of thinking, maybe it's time that I approach my nutrition the same way that I approach my exercise, which is my body needs to move differently. And so maybe I need to do things a little bit differently. And I feel like in general, like I eat whole foods, all that kind of stuff, but it might just be time to switch things up. So can you talk to me a little bit about the program and what it means? Because I'm sure I just totally bashed it all and didn't get any of it right. But if you could explain it a little bit more in a better coachier term.
I love that. I love when you said, really, I want to zone in real quick on what you said about what used to work for me doesn't work for me anymore. And that's where it lands for me. It's like, we're in our 40s now. And we've been doing this a long time. We've been doing this exercise thing and the eating thing. And all of a sudden something happened around 30, I want to say 36 to 37, maybe 38. And all of a sudden what was working didn't work anymore. And so we continue to work out. You and I have never had a problem with working out. It's our hobby too. So we love working out. It's this line between working out so much and eating less. And I kept seeing myself doing that, is working out more, eating less, and thinking, what is going on? I'm doing all that. I know how you eat too, Amy. We eat well. Like, I don't know what was going on. Well, I kind of stumbled on the program actually from one of my virtual training clients, and she had sent me some information on it. And I just, yeah, but I was in this place, and I don't think you really want to talk about that place until you've gone through it. So, because I don't know that you land the plane in that place, but I was in this place of swelling and not sleeping well, and my anxiety was creeping up, and I kept eating less and less, trying to get the weight to move. And it was just this, I don't want to say it was a dark time. It was a different season for me. And not just because of the weight, but because of, the move and a lot of big changes in our life. And so I kind of just Googled one day what she was talking about. And I read every word, Amy, every single word. And by the time I was done, I called her and I said, first of all, I'm in. I want to hook me up with your coach. And second of all, I will coach this. This is it.
Uh-huh.
Like, I was that sold.
So you knew you were committed before you even went to day one.
I was so in. Like, I was so ready for what Amanda had created. Like, it literally made sense to me, and it will to you too, as I explain that. It's like just all the moving components in together in one package where you're being coached and you have that accountability was it for me. That was money. It is exactly what I needed. I have thrived, and not in a salesy, oh my gosh, it's been amazing, it's been perfect. It hasn't. But that's what this program embodies, is like progress over perfection. As long as we stay consistent, we can have those hiccups and mistakes and stumbles. Mm-hmm. But I've never done anything consistently, and I'm about to hit my year anniversary. Yeah. And I haven't done anything that consistently. I haven't worked out this small amount, and I haven't eaten this much food and had success since my 20s. It has been unbelievable. And let's go to some of the moving parts of it is the intermittent fasting. And you and I are going to talk about that probably in a little bit, because I know that is not your thing. It's fasting, and it's carb cycling, and it's macro tracking. And there's all these parts that can kind of deter you and can kind of rock the client and say, I can't do that. But once you see how it's all put together and it's like handed to you so gracefully, that it's such a mind shift change. Every week you learn something new, and all this sudden you turn around a month later and go, how did I get here? This is, this is amazing. How did all these parts work together? So yeah, there's some major components. You didn't ask this question, but I'll go ahead and say it, is that mindset is everything. Yeah. Mindset is the gateway, right? It's like,
well, what do you mean by mindset? Like just saying I'm doing this, or I think,
yeah, like I'm all in, like I'm sick of failing, I'm sick of trying everything. You have to be like, I'm going to do what she tells me to do. Yeah. But we're also shifting your mindset from this abusive, beat yourself up. And let me give you an example. Like say you would eat something before you went to bed, and you knew you'd already met your calorie goal, and you eat something else, and maybe you have 6 powdered donuts, and then you go to bed feeling like crap, I shouldn't have had that. Then you wake up the next day and you go, shoot, I shouldn't have had that. Well, I just blew it. So let me just blow it some more. We're going to dump that. Like, I'm so over that. And that is where I hit my A game the most, is I want women not to feel that anymore. No more. Like, no more shame, no more guilt, no more taking one bad move to a week.
Right.
So there is a huge mindset shift. And I already see it in my clients that are in this round in week 2. I'm already getting the text. It's unbelievable. And I don't even know how it works. It's God. Yeah. I don't know how it all works, but I know that he's here and he's helping these women. And I always say, the program is the Bible and I'm the preacher. So I'm just out here just preaching it, and it is amazing. It has changed my life.
Now, one of the things that I know you know about me is I have a history of really kind of being obsessive, and I hate tracking stuff, Kandice. I hate it. I hate it because I used to obsess over it, and I used to beat myself up if I was 13 calories over my daily calorie goal. And now I hate it because it takes a long time, and I hate it because if I'm trying to track something and I've just made dinner and my family's trying to talk to me and I'm like, hold on, I need to put in my 5 ounces of chicken breast. I mean, talk to me about how to deal with that.
I totally understand that. I get that. And so I get that so big that is a big problem for a lot of people. And I can't say that it's not going to be a problem for a little bit. It is going to be work, right? You're not going to go into your workout and sit in the back corner and go, oh, that was such a great workout. I didn't even have to stand up. you're going to have to get your sea legs about you, and you're going to have to track, and you're going to have to kind of take a look. But I'm telling you, down the road, it becomes easier. So I don't have to track every day. I know what I'm eating. And then maybe I'll check in every once in a while. Now, this late into it, a year later, I'm not tracking every single meal every single day. I can't do that. That's not in my wheelhouse right now. It's not in my lifestyle. So what I would say to you and to anyone listening is that it is going to be work. Everything that's worth it is work. Going to have to work a little bit, and then we can back off and let it ride. And you'll be successful.
Okay. Well, that gives me encouragement to know that you're not still tracking that a year later, because that's just where, like, I can do it for a little bit, and I'll get online every now and then. I'll get on and I'll be like, how am I doing here? And I'll track for like 3 days, and then I'm off for a month, or even more, something like that. Just because it does get a little consuming for me in a couple different ways. So the fasting, I've tried this before. I wrote a blog post about it. Basically I tried it and I didn't have great success for it. So what kind of encouragement do you have for me on that? I'm like asking for you to sell it. Like, sell me your product, Kandice.
No, but I read that blog post and I almost like had to come back to talk to you about it. Because I was like, it's honestly cut and dry. Your mind wasn't in it. You were not in it.
Well, what do you mean by that?
You were
I
not
thought I was.
it. So, but you went in with a restrictive mindset. You went in thinking this is restrictive.
Yeah.
Instead of the autophagy, instead of the health benefits, like instead of really going in, and I don't think you intentionally did that, so I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I think I'm going to prepare you to go in for the health. And you went in with the restriction, and mainly, and maybe because you had already been restricting, you've been in such a restricting lifestyle, or the person listening to this has been in such a restrictive lifestyle that you automatically go into this new thing restrictive. And we take that out. So we want you to go through fasting and learn fasting for the health benefits and the cancer prevention, the blood sugar balance, the hormone balance. If you go with that mindset, it's a game changer.
Yeah.
And not like, hey, I get to eat in 2 hours. Wait, I get to eat in an hour and 45 minutes. Ooh, I get to eat. If we're there, we're messed up. But I'm going to have you so well fed. Like if you set your MyFitnessPal at 1,200 calories like it wants you to, you can't be in my program. I won't allow you to go with it.
No, I don't do 12
like
we're way.
Eating. Right. We're eating. So if I get you well fed, then the fasting comes really easy. I mean, there'll be a couple days a month. That's where the grace comes in. There's going to be a couple days a month that you just can't do it. Yeah. Either mine's not right, or you have your period, or something comes up, and that's okay too. Like, there's so much grace here. And the literature shows 12 to 14 hours of being a great kind of fasting window. We take it to 16 with the faster way, but I have ladies that only do 12, and that's all they do, and they have great success.
Okay.
So
I typically have done 12 hours. But my thing is, I typically go to bed hungry because we're eating at 6 and I'm not going to bed until 9 or 9:30. And I eat the bulk of my stuff between like 2 and 4, maybe. Mm-hmm. And so then I have a light dinner. So anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing how you can kind of adjust me and shift a little bit of that. Okay. Wine.
Yes.
Wine. Can I have wine?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I prefer you have 1 to 2 classes a week, and preferably on your treat day, TREAT, not cheat, but a treat day. 1 to 2 classes, absolutely okay. And if there's one during the week, we're going to have grace there too.
Okay. All right. How do you know what I'm eating?
You show me. I don't know what you're eating. Like, you never have to show me your diary. And honestly, I never want to see that. That's too invasive. You show me your nutrition tab every single night. You put it up on our Facebook group. We have a private Facebook group, or you would text it to me, and it shows me your goal versus what you've eaten as far as carbs, protein, and fat.
Got it.
I'll give you goals, and I'm trying to get
a macro pie chart.
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
All right. So one of the other things that I've seen on your account on Instagram and some of your clients are really amazing looking food. And I like to cook. I've always meal planned. I've always done all of that kind of stuff. Are there recipes available to help kind of jumpstart me into this?
Absolutely. Every Friday morning, an entire week of a meal plan will be delivered with your membership.
Really?
Yes,
Wow.
we have a vegan meal plan. So like the last couple of weeks, I've been putting a couple of vegan meals into my rotation.
Okay.
Every single meal is planned for you. Do you have to use it? Absolutely not. but it is a great helper to me. You and I both cook a lot, so we may not need to lean on it as much, but I lean onto it as like, oh, I never thought about using that. Okay, I'm making a lentil chili, a
Yeah,
lentil and
exactly.
butternut
That kind
squash
of stuff.
chili. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that. So I don't necessarily follow it each week, but I use it as a guide, and my clients love it.
Oh,
Love it.
yeah. That's
Yep,
huge.
that
And
comes with
then
your yep.
what about exercises? Now, I'm
Exercise.
like, I've got the exercise thing down, but
You think?
I've done it a little bit.
Yeah.
But my understanding is that you pair exercise with particular days based on the macro goals. Is that
Ab-
correct?
Absolutely. So we're going to have 2 days of HIIT training, and those are going to go with your lower carb days. And then we're going to have lifting days. We have rest days, which would be yoga, or you're swimming in your pool back there, or your walking days. But we actually have every day you have a workout. You do not have to use our workout, but you have a workout, so you don't have to think it at all. You literally can pull up the Facebook page and click the workout, and you can watch it live, or you can watch it later, or you can use the portal. So you'll have so many options to do that workout. I'm a trainer. So are you, Amy. I'm a trainer for 12 years. These are the best workouts I've ever seen. And I know that sounds salesy, but you got to know my heart. I am not a salesperson.
No, I know you.
I am a trainer. I'm real picky about my sets, and these sets are solid. Like I use the workouts. Me, Kandice Jolynn
That
Harris,
says a lot. It says a lot because
uses
I
the
trust
workout.
you, and I know you're really particular.
Yeah.
Well, what about the days? So I have 2 days a week that I walk with a friend in the mornings, and you know how precious this time is to me. Like, am I going to
Absolutely.
have to add on strength to those days?
Depending on what day it is. No, not usually. What we would do is you and I would sit together, talk together on the phone, and we would lay out your week. So you would tell me what you like, and then we will match your cycle to work that.
Okay.
So, I mean, there could be a day in there that you walk, and I'd want you to come home and do 15 minutes of just some strength training in your gym, but we keep it 30 minutes or less. We do not, but walking, mama, go for it. Like, I am a walker. You are too. Like, I'm a podcast listener. So we can walk whenever we want, all we want. But when we come to do a workout, we want it 30 minutes or less. And a lot of times mine are 18 to 20.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
I ain't got
I like
time for that. I'm not messing around.
That's how I am too.
Right.
Okay, that's good. Because if you were going to tell me I couldn't walk with my friends, then I was going to say I'm out.
Oh, heck no. That's fellowship, right? We can't give that up. Nope.
Yeah. So talk to me about what happens after this. It's a 6 or 7 week program.
It's a 6-week round. And so that's a great question. It's a 6-week round. And then you can absolutely take the principles I've taught you, and you can run with it, and you can go. And there's a lot of people that feel comfortable doing that. If not, then we have what we call a membership or a VIP group. And I have about 35 ladies in there now that run constantly through that every month. And I still continue to coach them through that. Then they get a digital studio of workouts. So, I mean, we have boxing and yoga and cycle and everything you can think of, a billion little things you can just click right into these workouts. We have teachings on hormones, and we have functional medicine doctors coming on. We have blood sugar specialists coming on. So you get that in the membership VIP program. So we want you to go through a round first. You have the principles, you're solid. And then we say, hey, you could do another round in case you don't feel confident yet. And if not, you can go into membership. And that's a monthly fee. And I pay for it. I actually pay for it as a coach. I get a discount, but I pay for it. That's how much I love it, because those teachings they are so good and so solid, and they help me be a better coach, and they help me with my hormone balance and my blood sugar balance. So those are kind of the options.
That I didn't realize it was that comprehensive.
Oh,
That's
it is
really amazing. And I tell you
unreal.
what, I get more questions. I've gotten a lot of people say, Amy, you've got to do a podcast on hormones. And I'm like, I have no idea about hormones.
Yeah, well, the hormones and the blood sugar balance are the two main words that come up in my head. What has happened to me to balance out those two? And the teachings are unbelievable. I mean, we have great gals. They come on. You don't have to watch them live. You know, you can watch those live trainings later. And I just eat them up. I take notes. I have notebooks full. I mean, just teach me, because we are aging. I'm going to be 45 too. We're the same age. And if we don't start talking about this and thinking about this, we're going to get ourselves in a world of hurt. So
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Well, this sounds like a very interesting program that I am willing to try. Now, I'm going to need a little bit of grace, because I don't feel like I am stepping into this in the most successful prone time of year. You and I are talking on November 1st. I know your next program, you said, starts November 4th.
Monday.
I'm traveling all week next week. And so it's just going to be a little bit wild, but I feel like if I can at least get my feet wet, get the basics, and then go from there. But I'm going to hold you to giving me grace because I know I'm going to need it.
Yeah, sister, like this is all about grace. And if you ask any of my clients, I've coached about 100 people through this program since March. And I think that's probably the one word they would use is if we don't have grace, we don't have anything. And that is, hey, I've had family members die, dogs die, people travel, people lose their job, things happen, and we have to have grace or we're never going to get through anything. Right?
Amen.
I'm going to ask you to be consistent, and I'm going to ask you to pick yourself up after you fall down pretty quickly, but there's nothing but grace here.
Awesome.
You're in the right spot.
Okay. I'm in.
I love it.
I'm in, even though I'm going to have a really rough week with doing this next week, but we'll try it. We'll try and stay consistent.
I mean, okay, just to give you an example, is I started on December 10th. So my year anniversary is coming up December 10th.
Yeah.
So I went through Christmas, New Year's, Easter. And so what I want to teach you is that you don't have to get all weirded out. You're not landing the plane there, and no one does. But once you kind of learn this and you step back and look at it, you're going through a holiday way more stressed because you don't know how to eat or what to eat, or you feel bad about what you ate. I'm going to teach you how to go through the holiday and never even think a thing. Because Thanksgiving, we're not tracking anything. We are enjoying ourselves, but you also will be so well fed that it won't be like, I got to have 4 pieces of pie and because you're so well fed, you're so satisfied, and you're in such a good place just in those 3 weeks before Thanksgiving on this next round that it's not even the same person. It's not even the same mindset. You're just so relaxed about it because we're so stressed going into those holidays that's really what makes us eat so much, because we're so stressed about what we're eating.
Yeah.
And, and I'm just going to nope, we're going to enjoy our holiday, but we're also going to just enjoy our holiday and we're going to leave it there. We're not going to take the holiday 4 days.
Right. Oh, right? That's so true. Yeah. I'm normally good until Christmas Eve. I don't want to say good and bad, but I normally I've kind of got control of things. And then I tell you what, the time between Christmas Eve and January 2nd is a train wreck.
Yes.
Train wreck.
And you're giving me a lot of, those are fighting words. That's challenging me. So you don't do that again, because that little time period is probably 5 to 7 pounds of water weight, swelling weight, just yuck. No one at 45 years old wants to start their new year like that. No one.
No, they don't.
So you're giving me a little challenge.
Well, I know you'll take it and run with it.
I will. I love it.
Okay, Kandice. So I know how to contact you, but for listeners, if they are interested in learning more or maybe jumping on the Faster Way to Fat Loss program, how can people get a hold of you?
I would say probably social media is probably the best way. I'm on Instagram at Coach Kandice Fitness. And I'm sure, Amy, you're going to put those down in your show notes, right?
I'll put all that in the show notes.
And then on Facebook, it's Kandice Harris. My middle maiden name is Bacchus, Backhaus. So it's kind of hard to find it. It's a picture of my family, but Amy can also link you into finding me there. My email address, you can link that in the show notes. Just reach out. You can just ask me. I want to share this. I want to make sure women find freedom and balance. And you know what, overall, Amy, I'm going to finish like this, is that I don't want you and I to go into our 50s talking about food and our body. No more.
Amen.
And I'm already there. I'm a year in, I'm already there. It's just not on my radar. I've got so many more things that I want to do. I don't want to be talking about my love handle sticking out my jeans.
Amen. I totally agree. I totally agree. You know the journey that I've been on, the path that I've been on. All right. So thank you so much for your time. And I am excited to start this with you, and we will see where it goes. So for the listeners, make sure that you tune back, because I'm actually going to be playing this in delayed mode, and the next episode will be my experience with this. So stay tuned.
I really hope you enjoyed that conversation and interview. And like I said, make sure you stay tuned. What I'm doing is releasing these episodes back to back on the same day. So if you are out for a long walk or you are driving somewhere, just keep on listening, because I'm going to share with you my experience after being on the Faster Way to Fat Loss program for the first 6 weeks. Make sure you stick around. But before you go, If you have been listening, I would love it if you would rate and review this podcast. Give an honest review. Those really help promote the show. And this is a newer show, and it would really be meaningful to me if you would do that. Also, if you have not yet checked out the resources tab over at gracedhealth.com, make sure you do that. I have all kinds of tools that I am equipped to help you with your balanced, sustainable health journey. I have some scriptures to pray over your health. I have make ahead breakfast ideas for your on the go family life. I know we're all rushing to get out the door in the morning. I have a checklist if you just kind of want to hold yourself accountable for making sure that you have your water and produce and quiet time, and then it's customizable so you can add in a few of your own. I have a 14-day devotional if you need a little bit of grace in your health and your body image. So make sure you check all of that out. And finally, if you like to get little reminders about these episodes, if you haven't subscribed, which by the way, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Go to gracedhealth.com/podcast. Put your name in there and I will send you the show notes directly to your inbox. You won't have to hunt them down, and it'll be a great little reminder for you to listen in. Okay, that is all for today. Go out there and have a grace day.